This is actually ideal for those of you who are either building agencies or digital media brands and or are offering coaching. So whether it's like life coaching or, therapeutic, mindfulness, mental health, sort of coaching. These are a little bit more created specifically for entrepreneurial agency style offers, but these questions are easy to modify and really effective for just about any niche market, vertical, industry, or area of expertise that you may be offering in the world. So I'm going to go through these quickly, and then there is a digital download that you can actually grab of these questions. I'm also going to be creating a template for these also as well, so that you can use Canva to modify my template to use in your own business, which essentially means you could sell this or give it away or use it as a branded asset, as a digital asset that you can offer to your clients and community. All right, so number one, this is a little bit more kind of conventional. What would massive action look like for you? So you're asking your client this on call number one, like what would taking massive action look like for you? Question number two, who is your ideal client? Again, remember, you could be asking this in your head right now of yourself, but ostensibly this is really for asking questions on a call or in an email or in a kind of digital downloads style format of your own ideal audience. So who is your ideal audience, or who is your ideal client? In this case, you would be asking your own clients, right? When you're signing them up, let's say you're selling a agency related service, like a card landing page, like a newsletter landing page built on card or framer, or just design that's specific to a given niche market or vertical. Number three, how many of your existing clients are ideal? Number four, what does your ideal client already buy? From whom? And do you offer this now? This is a great question. It's a really great way of getting your client, let's say on a call, to get very crystal clear about what it is that your client already buys and from where or from who. And this essentially allows them to kind of start the imagination or the entrepreneurial intuition about who their competitors are, what they may be able to, copy or emulate or improve or optimize that's already out there in the world that they can do better and essentially, build their brand and business around that. Remember, if people are buying stuff in the world, and again, you're talking to your own clients here, if people are buying things, then that's a fantastic opportunity to step in and optimize, tweak, critique, improve, iterate, and essentially take an existing success metric that it can be measured. People are buying something, right? And improving it. And your client can then step in and with a fair amount of certainty, sell the same thing in their own version, or create their own version of the same thing would be a better way of saying that. Again, look at any market, and this is true. Look at framer templates, for an example. I mean, there are a shit ton of framer templates that are, selling fantastically well. They're making people a lot of money, that are just slight improvements on something that they saw that they liked or thought they could do better. And so on it goes, right? I mean, everything kind of has that sort of flavor and topspin to it, where people are, kind of validating the market by dint of seeing what other folks are already doing that's already working, and simply, rather than recreating the wheel, improving on that idea and making, progress and profits based on somebody else's validation. All right, number five, what do you do really, really well? And are you communicating this as clearly and as confidently as you could be within your content, in your, online branding, in your personal sort of interactions with clients on the phone, follow-ups, etc. All right. Again, really, really good to ask ourselves this as well as asking clients. Sometimes when I fail to ask myself this question, what do I do really, really well? I find myself doing things that I don't do very well for a living, right? Because it becomes very easy to slowly, atrophy the muscles that are most naturally, kind of robust in ourselves, and just find ourselves doing, tasks that don't necessarily speak to our natural gifts. All right, number 6, and then I'm going to kind of speed through the rest, and you can download this. Again, if you are interested in working with me directly by phone, we'll be, having a small cohort in August for those of you in the agency, amplifier, and incubator program within our tiny.pathright.com course community. All right, what is the number one problem that your clients or ideal client struggles with? Again, asking this of your clients to identify this within their own niche market, vertical industry, locality, etc., is a great way of getting the intellectual wheels to spin, right? And then how do you know this, right? I mean, do you have site analytics? Are you asking by dint of surveys, like how are your clients communicating their challenges? All right, what do you do that solves the problem as specifically as possible? And again, you're asking this of your clients again in a very sort of interrogatory style way. Number 9, what is the most obvious tangible benefit that solving that problem brings to the lives of your clients, right? And this, in this case, you're giving people who you're working with the opportunity to really get clear about the tangible ways that the work they're doing in the world actually serves their own, clients and community. How clear, this is number 10, how clearly is that benefit being communicated in your copy? Is there a dollar value, a health value, a time value, etc., right? I mean, if you're helping people lose 50 pounds, right? I mean, what can be, communicated within that little, sort of sentence that has more resonance, emotional resonance, life resonance than just losing weight, right? And maybe that's seeing one's son or daughter get married because you're not going to, die early from, an obesity related disease. Maybe it's, something that's very dollar oriented, right? So maybe that's something that you do that actually helps your clients in a empirical way make more money, or, something that has a more, kind of a commerce driven value, or maybe it's a time value, etc. Maybe you save people time, right? Maybe you save, 20 minutes an hour by dint of this piece of software that your client has created that gives folks back, their valuable time. I mean, the more clarity that your clients, and of course each of us as well, brings to this sort of communication style is really, really, immediately obvious when it comes to things like conversions. All right, number 11. Can you tell me the top 3 ways you get new clients now? And then how much distance is there between number 1 and number 3? So maybe number 1 is email marketing, and maybe number 3 is the occasional outreach on Instagram via a DM or a radio ad. Is radio still a thing? I'm not even sure. What is the number 1 thing you do? And then what's the number 3 thing you do? And how much distance is there, or how much of a divide is there in terms of, the difference between those two client acquisition strategies. This can be really interesting because you find that sometimes people are wasting a lot of time on things that are getting no results, and they could just be doubling down on thing number 1, right? All right, number 12. What is the number 1 challenge or obstacle that has prevented you from accomplishing, that thus far, right? Is it focus? Is it money? Is it knowledge? Is it skills, etc.? Number 13, this is great, especially right now in our current zeitgeist, asking clients if they have an email newsletter or an automation or a continuity-based relationship marketing strategy. So like, again, like a newsletter built on card. This is a great sort of, segue into offering something like that. A newsletter, let's say, built on Button Down or ConvertKit that is delivered by dint of a card landing page. All right. A content marketing upgrade, like something that pops up on a screen that allows people to grab the book by virtue of giving you, or in this case, your client, their name, etc. All right. Anything that turns strangers into subscribers and then ostensibly subscribers into sales. If they do, you want to ask them to send you the URL and sign up. This is like our responsibility as coaches, as consultants, and again, this applies to both entrepreneurial online agency style stuff as well as like coaching things, right? I mean, if I'm, working with a spiritual coach or a mindfulness or mental health coach, or a therapist, and they are offering life advice via a newsletter, I want to see what they're offering. Like, I want my clients to send me their stuff so I can actually critique it and I can improve it. I can tweak it. I can do all those things as a consumer, as a customer, as a potential client or customer, rather than as the consultant, myself. People, just a quick aside, people used to always get surprised when I would do that. And I'd ask people to send me their like newsletter landing page or their opt-in page or their newsletter, issue archive. And, they would be surprised that I actually read the things that they sent. But that is how you do your job in a really robust and ethical way, is you want to be able to, to put yourself in the eyes and mind of the potential client that they're serving. And then you want to see how what they're actually writing lands in your life through that perspective. And for me, it's just a great way of being able to, move out of the expert realm and into the interested audience realm, and then being able to advise your clients accordingly. Sometimes that actually goes badly and people don't like the advice that you're sharing, with them. If you're working with a therapist, let's say, and they're sharing, or, a spiritual teacher of some kind, and they're sharing, things via their newsletter that doesn't resonate with you. I've had those uncomfortable conversations as well. Sometimes people aren't thrilled to get that sort of advice. So, do your own kind of due diligence with that style approach. All right. Number 14, what does your business look like in 6 months? What will you be doing more of, and what will you be doing less of? You'll often find people will share like, really value laden or value driven, time related, sort of concepts around this. Like, I'll spend more time with my twins. I will be spending less time doing X. I will have more time for my wife or husband. I will be playing pickleball with greater frequency. I will spend more time in nature. I will spend less time dealing with, customer bullshit or, like that sort of thing. And these are really important things that offer a valuable insight into the psyche of your potential audience. All right, number 15, what would make this easy? What would make it fun? I try to ask myself this all the time. What would make this fun is a really important question for me, because I can often find myself spending hours a day doing stuff that's not fun. And then when I think about, in the fullness of time, my own life, I want to spend more time doing more things that make me more happy and less time doing things that, even if they're profitable, make me less happy and more stressed. All right, number 16, what has historically distracted you? It's a great question to ask folks with entrepreneurial ADD, which is, I count myself amongst that group, and I know many of you do as well. Things distract us, right? And if you don't understand how to, sort of protect yourself or insulate yourself from distractions, you will spend much of your life like I have, which is, bouncing from thing to thing or getting distracted by, ideas and tools and tech that I don't really need to succeed, but still have captured enough of my attention to, to steal valuable hours of my life. All right. Number 17, how aggressively are you seeking out new clients? Would you be comfortable executing on an ethical but proactive, more aggressive marketing strategy? And it's interesting. This is a really good vetting question if you're working with, clients and you have your pick of people and you don't need necessarily to sign up everybody that is interested in hiring you, because what I found is, I'm not a heavy, hardcore salesperson. I don't like sales really. I don't like being pushy or aggressive, but I do, when it comes to this space, I do really go all out, right? I mean, so it's education marketing. It's, teaching people, serving people, illuminating areas that I have expertise or experience, and then not being pushy, but really being, and I hate the word aggressive, but being bold, audacious, ambitious, all of those things. If you feel like you have a gift to share, you ought to be, somewhat audacious and bold about executing on that. And what you find actually, when you ask people this question, if they're being honest, some people tell you, yeah, I'm not comfortable doing any of those things. Like, I don't really, they think they want a lot of clients, but then it turns out they don't want to do all the things that having clients would require of them, right? I had somebody, 6 months ago or so, who had all of these people lined up by dint of work that we had done together, who were really interested in working with this gentleman, but he was uncomfortable getting on the phone with these folks. And all these people were essentially doing he was offering a service that would be far better delivered via the telephone than via, email or text or whatever. And that's kind of what he wanted. And, at a certain point, I was like, dude, this ain't going to work if you don't want to actually work with people. Like, if you want to have this coaching business where you're helping clients and doing all this sort of stuff, and this was more of a coaching offer than a agency offer, but you're uncomfortable working with people via the phone and they're telling you that they want to hire you to work with them by phone, this whole thing is a waste of our time. You're not going to get anywhere. I'm not going to get anywhere. And certainly your, clients and potential community aren't going to get anything because they don't want this advice delivered via a circle community or via, a live chat once every, week or whatever on a Discord, right? So, being able to articulate the comfort, that one has with respect to being, to what one's boundaries are, let's say, what one's areas of discomfort are going to be. That's very helpful for you as a consultant or as a coach or as someone who's working with clients, if you feel comfortable that you can help them get more of them. All right, where are we? Number 18, last one. If we could accomplish one super specific thing together over the next 30 days, what would it be? And, that's predicated on a 30-day coaching plan. If it's 90 days, you just change the date, the amount of days, the time course. It's all but getting people to tell you exactly what a 30-day quintessential, normative, what the best result would be for them after 30 days or after 90 days is great to know, because if you can deliver on that, you've done your job. And if you have that written down and it's clearly communicated from jump, it's a really good thing to shoot for together, right? 30, if you're helping people, like I'm doing, or at least I aspire to do every month, helping people create digital products, helping people write books, helping people create content that, turns into courses and communities and clients, etc. Being able to say to someone, what would that look like for you in 30 days? And then say, well, I would have 4 products done. Fantastic. Then that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to create 4 products together over the next 30 days. If they want to write a tiny book, that's the goal, right? I mean, you want to be in alignment with what it is that your audience, your clients, your community is telling you by virtue of what they're spending money on to hire you, right? So all of these things, these 18 questions are really effective. They will be helpful for both your clients and you, right? I mean, when I go over these myself over and over again, I find little wrinkles and little extra ideas and areas of excitement, even for me when I'm working with, people like you, who's, those of you who are listening to this and who are either in our community and thinking about working, with us directly or, whatever the circumstance is. I find these are clarifying for me because I can tell you, like, some of these things remind me of areas that I'm not, optimizing for in my own life, in my own business. And it's all life and business, right? Those things are not divided for me. When you are a creator, a maker, somebody who, writes and teaches and thinks, there's really no fine line or a clear division between, life and work. It's all creative. It's all, sort of this aspirational notion around helping people, serving people, coming up with fun things, sharing ideas, writing, teaching, etc. To me is life. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. This is all going to be part of a new private audio course as well, questions and answers, templates, PDFs, etc. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to be delivered per se via the podcast. It's going to be something that's in our community. So if you're in our community in August of 2024, you'll get a version of this as well, the full version. But I may actually do some of this on YouTube or in public as well. Like this, I'm going to probably post, which is also the an episode from the podcast. Anyway, just forget I said all that because I just kind of confused myself. I'm sure I confused everyone else as well. But I'm really excited. I guess I would just plant a flag in that idea. I love the idea of, audio content, bingeable, listen on the go, lessons that are amplified and improved by templates and tools and things that you can download. And in my perfect world, so using the same logic on myself, having a tiny community of audio-based courses and audio-based lessons that both I create and folks like yourselves create, and we, amplify that through a, community marketplace. That would be really exciting to me. Tiny products with, lots of big ideas from smart entrepreneurs who prefer this sort of way of learning. For me, audio content is, my favorite. I mean, I spend most of my day listening to podcasts, listening to, books on Audible, and listening to audio-centric, courses and lessons and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of video. Like, I don't like to watch YouTube. I don't watch TikTok things or like Instagram videos. I have friends who send me this stuff like incessantly throughout the day, these ridiculous, video, funny stuff, viral stuff, smart stuff, business stuff. It doesn't matter. I'm not interested. But audio stuff I love. And in my own little entrepreneurial orbit, I would love to build more tiny products that are completely audio centric. So if you have an interest in that as well, reach out. I have some really fun ideas around that for our community in a marketplace style setting, and I'm happy to share more about that with those of you who are interested privately, at least at this point. Again, it's the 31st of July. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. I know I said that already once. I appreciate